Hi to everyone. I'm Mary Hardy, and in 1975 we built a orgone pyramid. Orgone energy is the life force energy of the planet, and as a pyramid, there are thousands of pyramids all the way around the world. I've written a book called Pyramid Energy: The Philosophy of God, the Science of Man. It was published in 1986, and I've sold over 17 or 18,000 copies of it. Using crop circles and vortex generators to move energy on the planet. Crop circles appear all over the earth. They are vortex generators that deal with balancing the frequency of an area. Crop circles heal the planet. It is important to understand how to use them and generate a higher frequency on the planet. As dowsers, we can create a vibrational frequency that will use vortexes to heal the planet. In 2013, we used one of the crop circles to change the frequency of the tip and tilt of the earth. So when all of this strangeness, like 5G, came in, it wouldn't attack people as much as it has. It would help them. I'm going to show you how the Native Americans use medicine wheels, which are similar to crop circles. I'm going to talk to you about that first. This is the medicine wheel at the Little Bighorn Mountain, about 50 miles from Yellowstone. The Native Americans have been able to use these light pillars generated by these vortex generators. Just visualize flushing a toilet and creating that vortex. These objects, like pyramids, medicine wheels, and crop circles, generate that vortex. This vortex is a clockwise vortex, and being clockwise, it takes the energy up into the ionosphere. Nobody knows who put this medicine wheel here, but this medicine wheel is connected to the caldera, or the volcanic action under Yellowstone. And one morning when I got up to do my prayer work, suddenly Sitting Bull was sitting in my yard. And I asked him why he was there, and he simply said to me, "I'm here to save the sacred land of Yellowstone." In other words, what this medicine wheel was doing was pulling the energy out from under Yellowstone, sending it up through the center of this. There were Native Americans dancing in a clockwise. Why were they dancing clockwise? Because clockwise, a high pressure in the weather system takes the energy from down under up. If you're going to use earth engineering, you've got to understand the directions. A clockwise direction takes energy up. A counterclockwise direction takes energy down. So if the Indians were dancing in a counterclockwise vortex, they would be putting the energy down from the ionosphere through this medicine wheel. But most of medicine wheels are naturally offshoots, and they are only placed if you dowse with your pendulum in a clockwise energy pattern coming out of the earth. So this is a slowly turning clockwise energy pattern. Sitting Bull had many dancing Indians around him. In other words, on our property we have a pyramid, an obelisk, a medicine wheel. So what was happening as Sitting Bull was sitting there with his dancing ghost dancers, he was pulling the energy out from under Yellowstone, up through this medicine wheel, and over to my yard, in a dancing clockwise matter. They were dissipating that through the Great Lakes area. That is how Native Americans move energy. They have stopped tornadoes with this. They have lessened hurricanes, and you can even change the frequency so that you can heal yourself or take negative frequencies away. So this Bighorn medicine wheel, I want you people to understand how the natives use it. Crop circles are important in healing Mother Earth. In the left-hand corner was the one I used in 2013. It is a compass. It was the first crop circle the year of 2013. And when I was at the convention, it appeared just a couple days before I traveled to the convention. And guess what, people? When I tried to get on the airplane, my ticket was canceled, because they knew what I intended to do. I intended to put this crop circle over Stonehenge. Now remember, Stonehenge is a chalk field about 90 miles in radius. So anything that appears on the plains of Salisbury, anything that appears there, you can put that on Stonehenge and broadcast the frequency of tipping and tilting the whole grid. So that is how crop circles work. It's very similar to how the Native Americans use medicine wheels. The second crop circle here appeared just yesterday. It was celebrating the solar eclipse because that's very important. It happened at 10 o'clock yesterday. You can place these crop circles on top of Stonehenge and you can go forward and backward in time. So if you want to take this crop circle, place it on Stonehenge, you actually can use your pendulum in any way you want to heal yourself from the solar frequency. This crop circle is very important. It is a pinwheel clock winding down the time of ET watch in the skies. Well, I use it for a different purpose. I use it because it can be used to neutralize and change the frequency of 5G energy. And that is why I want you to start using it the way the Native Americans used it in their dancing around a medicine wheel. This is slowly turning clockwise. Clockwise is taking the energy from Mother Earth up to the whole ionosphere and putting this crop circle over Stonehenge. That allows this slowly turning crop circle to pull the energy from the Earth all the way up to the ionosphere. And with the prayer of the Holy Grail Vortex, which I'll teach you a little later, you can actually start to neutralize and change the frequency of all the satellites and all the 5G towers just by doing the prayer. We are living on a planet of free will, and they cannot interfere with your prayer work. They can interfere if you developed a device that would do this. They can interfere with it, but they cannot interfere with when you do prayer work. So the Holy Grail Vortex, which we do, and I will repeat it real quick. From the point of light within the mind of God, we take the third eye and bring our intention down from the sky all the way to Mother Earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, we take our heart chakra and change the frequency to the heartfelt love. That's a counterclockwise vortex, taking it all the way down to the center of the earth. From the center where the will of God is known, now the will of God is to give us freedom, keep our free will, and not allow us to be horrified by the virus of 5G is creating. And from the center, which is called the race of man, you can send that out through the whole grid. There's nothing more powerful than the earth motor itself. And a lot of people have to realize that the earth is a slowly turning motor. It's more powerful than any of the 5G towers or any of the 5G satellites that they put up there. So we have a very powerful tool in correcting the frequency within the 5G field with these crop circles. This crop circle energetically is connected to the three main pyramids on the Giza Strip. The little pyramid in front, there are three types of pyramid. The first pyramid is Mycerinus, which is a sound pyramid. The second pyramid is Khafre, which is a hollow pyramid. And the third pyramid is Cheops, which is built just like our orgone pyramid, a layer of electric or dielectric. Cheops itself is a layer of stone, sand, sand. And if you're going to make an orgone blanket, you layer it with wool, cotton. It's the layering that makes the orgone energy. This is the crop circle, and it is a star octagon in a clockwise move. The 135-degree frequency is the frequency of the hollow pyramid, and is represented 8 times in the pyramid as it spins. So you're representing the frequency of the hollow pyramid. This is angles of Catherine represent at 8 times. The energy of Catherine is generated to move the energy from a solid pyramid to a hollow pyramid. Or you could have an upshoot pyramid and a downshoot pyramid. Cheops is the upshoot pyramid. Catherine is the downshoot pyramid. So you have to have both directions if you're going to move energy. You can see here that by the way this pyramid is built, it has 8 sides. It's an octagon. It generates the frequency of the heart, and it is multi-layered of stone and sand, so that it creates the life force energy. When we put up our pyramid in 1975, we incorporated an orgone covering on ours, which immediately connected to Cheops, which broadcasted the life force energy of these pyramids all over the world. And that is why we shut down the Bermuda Triangle and the Great Lakes Triangle and can use Stonehenge, which is the main control panel for the whole grid system on the planet. And at Y2K, they tried to cap this pyramid. They tried to move Stonehenge over to the Millennium Dome to create Y2K. They planned on shocking the Earth motor, stopping it enough so that they could have complete control. And we have been working for many years to stop that. This is a diagram of the pyramid, and as I says, it is a spinning pinwheel. Again, when we say this spinning crop circle, like the medicine wheel at Bighorn, it is pulling the energy up from Yellowstone, taking it from up to the ionosphere. This one is connected to the Earth motor, and this is pulling the energy up from the Earth motor all the way into the ionosphere. What you put into this crop circle, like I said, from the point of light, you put the consciousness of man. From the point of love, you put the consciousness of the heart. From the center where the will of God is known, you put the will of God into the will of what you intend. And 95% of what we do is intent. So doing the Holy Grail Vortex, and if you want to learn the Holy Grail Vortex, get on Mary Hardy YouTube. We have diagrams of it. I've got the Holy Grail Vortex from 12 Templars that wanted me to help them stop Y2K. They put radio stations in all the cathedrals 4 years before so they could transfer the energy from the Great Pyramid up to the Millennium Dome. And I was given the Holy Grail Vortex to go into these cathedrals and change the frequency so they couldn't be used as a radio station to transfer the energy. And that is why I have it. And repeating it from the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. You send the energy from the ionosphere down to the Earth motor. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men. From the center which is called the race of man, let the plan of love and light work out. And that's when you send it throughout the Holy Grid. Last year, this was the first crop circle that appeared in the late part of May, just before I did my presentation at the ASD. As you see there, it is a pendulum heart that can swing back and forth to the wings of Isis, which are the consciousness of man. The second crop circle last year, on May 28th, 2020, was the coronavirus. Again, you could put this virus on top of Stonehenge. You see the circle in the end is a white blood cell eating up this virus. So you could place this on the crop circle, do the Holy Grail Vortex, and ask that this be neutralized. This is the third one. This crop circle appeared when George Floyd found an early death and there was rioting all in the United States. Again, if we wanted to change the frequency of these riots, we could ask permission. You have to ask permission. We could ask permission and send this through the grid and to help. And we would be using the Holy Grail Vortex. Now I'm going to play a video. The earth is a motor. The earth is a living being and has its orgone aura the same as a human. Crop circles, pyramids, medicine wheels, and the Holy Grail Vortex activate the earth's living motor. The earth's living motor is activated by a standing calmer wave. All pyramids, medicine wheels create a vortex into the earth's motor. The earth's motor has an auric field just like a human that we call the atmosphere. The earth has a nervous system that we call the grid of ley lines. For years, humankind has used the earth's energy field to develop its consciousness so that mankind can live in harmony. Free will on the planet is a gift, and Mother Earth supports the frequency of free will to help us advance. The 5G network of towers and satellites has disrupted the grid so that the creatures of the earth have become confused and disoriented. Birds, bees, butterflies, and the creatures of the seas and other migratory animals can no longer navigate the grid. The Holy Grail Vortex and spinning crop circles can help teach these animals to migrate. The Holy Grail Vortex creates a spinning crop circle, and it's necessary for us to look at how this is achieved. This is a short film on how crop circles heal the planet. Crop circles are a mystery to most of this planet, but they are vortex generators. Most of the crop circles in the world appear around Stonehenge. It is a chalk field in which these crop circles can be drawn on. So people ask, who makes them? They are balls of plasma. The Earth is negative and the balls of plasma are positive. Well, the balls of light, the plasma balls of light, over a negative chalk field makes the crop circles. Crop circles are vortexes. They are patterned vortexes already given a frequency. Now we use the fairies and divas. They make crop circles. They can make crop circles on the plains of Sulbury very easily. The main generator for these crop circles is Stonehenge. That is why most of them appear around Stonehenge. One of the oldest roads in England is by the Temple Commandery on the plains of Sulbury. That is because the Templars used the crop circles to generate a field, to activate their churches, set the frequency of the grains in the land. Now, homeopathy is like cures like. So with this, we can create a similar frequency. The way to spin that into the frequency of an area is to do the Holy Grail Vortex. In 1996, a group of Templars came to me and gave me the Holy Grail Vortex that allows us as dowsers to heal the grid lines of the earth, take down tornadoes, and balance out hurricanes. With understanding this technology, we can heal the grid lines so animals can navigate. The Templars built cathedrals, obelisks, and other vortex generators. These were resonating chambers. The object was to keep the electromagnetic network in balance. We as dowsers must learn the techniques if we wish to help the creatures of the earth to return to a navigational frequency for them to flourish. In 1996, while in France, these 12 Templars came to me and taught me the secret of the Holy Grail Vortex. The Holy Grail Vortex is a prayer. This vortex generates two fields of counterclockwise vortexes and two clockwise vortexes. As you see in this energy pattern, the highest heaven, you can see the 4 circling vortexes, 2 counterclockwise and 2 clockwise. The Holy Grail Vortex creates a vortex generating system that allows us to control the orgone system of pyramids all over the world. This prayer sets up a standing wave from the ionosphere to the center of the earth. With this prayer, we can activate pyramids, medicine wheels, move crop circles to any place on the earth, to activate any acupressure point within the grid, to shut down hurricanes, reduce the effects of earthquakes, and stop tornadoes. Many of the ancient people knew how to do this through their dance, which sets up a tachyon field. They used pyramids, medicine wheels to create upshoots and downshoots to move this energy. Here is an example of performing the Holy Grail Vortex. Always ask permission if you wish to perform the Holy Grail Vortex. Engage the frontal lobes. Form a clear intent in your mind. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. May light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose that the masters know and serve. From the center which is called the race of man, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the doors where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Send love through the grid and see it balance. Give thanks for your opportunity to heal humanity and the planet. Move on to a higher frequency. In 1998, the pyramid group called the Temple of New Saqqara formed a group called the Sisterhood of the Emerald Fire. The purpose of this group was to learn the Holy Grail Vortex and use it to protect humanity and the Earth's grid. Using the Holy Grail Vortex, the sisters were trained to spin their chakra system into the heart and emanate green fire into a standing wave. This calmer wave goes from the center of the earth to the ionosphere. The Sisterhood of the Emerald Fire took their name from the Marys, who wore a diamond over their heart. They spun one part of the heart one way and one part of the heart the other way, creating a double vortex so they could create emerald green fire out of the heart. The heart chakra is emerald green. Thus the name is Sisterhood of the Emerald Fire. The sisters were trained to use pyramids, labyrinths, medicine wheels, and the gazebo, which all generate a vortex energy. Using the Holy Grail Vortex, they could activate a standing wave going from the earth to the ionosphere. If we are to help the creatures of the earth, the bugs, the bees, the birds, the whales, we must understand the wisdom of the Holy Grail Vortex and the standing waves. Often when we perform the Holy Grail Vortex at this gazebo, a large flock of geese would swim in a circle in the water behind the gazebo. This is a diagram of the Earth's crystalline grid. The present crystalline energy system of the planet is a combination between an icosahedron, a polyhedron with 20 faces, and a dodecahedron, a polyhedron with 12 flat faces. It allows the planet's creatures to travel along the grid lines. The Holy Grail Vortex creates an energy pattern of vortex energy, which allows them to activate the sonar so they can find their way from one point to another. The U.S. Navy has said that in the last few years, an increase in whales and dolphins beaching themselves is due to the increased sonar military exercises. Electromagnetic energy such as 5G and sonar disturbs the navigational instincts of migratory animals. We as dowsers have the ability to help the creatures of Earth find their navigational frequencies. We must reestablish the use of spinning vortexes and understand how to create a standing counter wave. Studying this situation, I find that the creatures of the world, insects, whales, butterflies, birds, have an instinct to circle to create a standing wave, thus creating a vortex field of energy to swim from one place to another. The first thing we have to do is investigate that the Earth is a living motor. By doing the Holy Grail Vortex, we create a system that allows the animals to move from one standing wave to another. All we have to do is activate the standing waves. Thousands of pyramids and crop circles have been placed all over the world. These pyramids generate a vortex frequency that can be used to re-engineer the grid and assist the creatures of the Earth in re-establishing their navigational grid. I would like to present to you at this time a film that we made at the Temple of New Saqqara to explain pyramid energy and the importance it has in keeping the grid in balance.
Recently, scientists have found startling new evidence about the Great Pyramid of Giza, and they have published a white paper titled Electromagnetic Properties of the Great Pyramid, First Multipole Resonances. The conclusion reported in the July 2018 issue of the Journal of Applied Physics reports the multipole analysis of the electromagnetic waves scattering by the Great Pyramid has been performed in the radio frequency range and revealed important physical properties concerning the accumulation and focusing of electromagnetic energy. This energy concentration indicates that the Great Pyramid functions as an antenna for the Earth's energy to facilitate its life-sustaining motor. All motors need to be stabilized, and the Great Pyramid generates an energy field to entrain the Earth's motor to continue to run smoothly. As far back as Plato's stories about Atlantis, the Earth has many power stations. Modern evidence confirms that Africa, India, South America, Antarctica, and Australia were once a single continent called Pangaea. At that time, the North Pole was located in the modern Bermuda Triangle region, and the South Pole was near Australia in the Devil's Sea. The main controlling power station was located at the North Pole. The standing wave over the North Pole became unbalanced, collapsed, and cracked the Earth, creating the Atlantic Ocean. Since the Earth is a motor that must operate in a balanced field, this imbalance meant that the Earth would wobble on its axis, and the energy it was producing would cease to exist. This would cause the beautiful blue-green orgone energy field produced by the Earth's motor to collapse, and the planet would die. An ancient order of interstellar priests came to the rescue of the Earth. First, they built a school called Saqqara to instruct the ancient Egyptians. The Egyptian students were trained on the nature of orgone energy, the science of levitation, how to construct pyramids, the Ark of the Covenant, and the rods of Ptah. By locating the central point of the Pangaea continental landmass, which was Egypt, they built an antenna system using the Great Pyramid. This system was designed to balance the Earth. They also built Stonehenge to act as a control panel for this antenna system. Stonehenge, a vortex generator, monitors and maintains the tip and tilt of the Earth. With this knowledge, the Earth's magnetic field was brought into harmonious balance. When Mary Hardy first entered the Great Pyramid in 1981, she relived a past life in that past time and realized the process of how the Great Pyramid stabilizes the Earth. She saw the ancients use a coil, much like a Tesla coil, which they ran up and down the Grand Gallery of the Great Pyramid. This technique corrected the Earth's imbalance, returning it to a stable orbit. The pyramid itself is built like an orgone generator. It has dual layers of electric dielectric material acting as an antenna to maintain the Earth's temperature and orbital balance. Mary's teacher, Kenneth Killick, told her that the Great Pyramid's electric dielectric nature is realized by layering first a wall of stone, then a crystalline chamber of sand. then a wall of stone, and then another chamber of crystalline sand. Unfortunately, the archaeologists that are trying to understand the pyramid have drilled holes into its walls and have removed the sand. Because of the lack of understanding, these scientists do not realize that they are destroying a very beautiful piece of technology that balances the earth. When Mary went to Egypt in 1981, the pyramid's interior was cool, remaining at a constant 72 degrees. Kenneth Killick explained that this was part of the design, maintaining both the pyramid and the Earth's cool temperature. When she returned to the Great Pyramid in 1992, the interior temperature of the pyramid was warmer than the desert air outside. Mary called Kenneth and related to him the temperature reversal, and he again told her about the orgone energy field and said, "The damn fools are taking the insulation out, and they're making the Earth's antenna a useless piece of equipment." The recent scientific white paper has confirmed that the Great Pyramid is an antenna that acts as a lens and pulls the energy up from the Earth's interior. Unfortunately, some scientists still maintain that the Egyptians were not advanced enough to engineer this electromagnetic field into the pyramid. They say it's just a coincidence. Some archaeologists and physicists can't comprehend the information they have in front of them. They are still calling the pyramids tombs. If they would study and understand the pyramid antenna system and reattach it to the Earth's orgone field, they could engineer the tools that were used to build the pyramids. This information is portrayed in many of the Egyptian hieroglyphs. The controlling energy mechanism for these ancient devices was the Ark of the Covenant. We all know the story of Moses parting the Red Sea. When engineers accept that the Ark of the Covenant was a capacitor, and when Moses extended the rod of Ptah on the banks of the Red Sea, he created a soliton that allowed him to part the waters. Mary is convinced that the Egyptians were trained on how to use scalar and soliton energy, and the Great Pyramid generated these fields. Moses, the pharaohs, and the students at Saqqara all knew how to use the rods of Ptah. If we had this information today, it would revolutionize technology. It's a shame that archaeologists, physicists, and mechanical engineers cannot see the simple truth of how the pyramids interact with the Earth. Fortunately, Mary Hardy's orgone pyramid preserves the antenna grid to hold the frequency of the heart to protect the Earth. We need to understand that the Earth is a motor. Pyramids and obelisks are antennas, and the tune rods of Ptah can direct and manipulate electromagnetic fields to generate standing waves or solitons to move this energy. This understanding would greatly benefit all living things, humanity, and Mother Earth.
Many creatures of the sea and air are finding their own solution to the problems of the grid. Mysterious circling behaviors observed in large marine animals was the title of a research article from EcoWatch. Several large marine animals, from sharks to seals to turtles to penguins, have been observed doing something scientists find strange, swimming in circles, the article stated. They are simply following the frequency of the Holy Grail Vortex, which is set up by the pyramids. By understanding the Holy Grail Vortex, this behavior is easily explained. Moving in circles creates a standing wave the same as the Holy Grail Vortex. These sea creatures are simply retuning the grid so that they have a navigational frequency. This unusual circling behavior occurs over food sources and navigational points on the grid. All creatures, from butterflies to sea creatures, bees to birds, travel the navigational frequencies of the crystalline grid. Unfortunately, the use of 5G towers and satellites have interfered with the navigational grid of these creatures. The geese no longer fly in V formation. Many robins never left Michigan. Beekeepers are losing their bees. A few more years of this behavior and our ecosystem will be severely hampered. On December 22, 2020, a meteor fell in Lake Allegan. Suddenly we had birds from many different countries. For example, there were spew ducks here from Eurasia and Canadian snow geese from the Canadian Arctic. Many birds from these areas have never appeared in this region. This shows you that the creatures have lost their sonar grid lines and have no true path to travel from one place to another. The meteor fell right in the center of our etheric pyramid. This created a grid line that led the wayward birds to this area. This pyramid is created by my pyramid earth, John's pyramid fire, the Allegan Dam water, and the Allegan Airport air. On July 10, 1899, a 50-pound meteor, amply named the Allegan meteorite, fell a mile or two away from where this new meteor fell in December. The elders of the planet told me that the meteors were now being sent to create a new grid pattern for the water and air creatures to navigate off of. Doing the Holy Grail Vortex over the meteors and connecting with the creatures' brains will help them navigate. Many of these creatures are beginning to use this system by circling over the meteors, feeding areas, and grid points. The Sisterhood is being asked to create the Holy Grail Vortex and work with the fairies, the divas, and Earth's creatures. The Glassford Meteor near Peoria, Illinois, is about a half a mile from where these pictures were taken. There are many meteors falling on the Earth yearly. These pictures that were taken by a sister of the Emerald Fire made me realize the importance of doing the Holy Grail Vortex over meteor sites where you live. The diamond in the sky represents the diamond that is over the heart of the Marys. The Sisterhood follows the teachings of the Marys. Many pictures of Mary Magdalene shows a diamond over her heart. Spinning the top part of the diamond over the heart in one direction and the bottom part of the heart in the opposite direction creates a standing columnar wave. This standing wave is very similar to the creatures flying and swimming in circles. This circling creates a standing wave and can help set up the grid so these creatures can navigate the Earth. Incorporating the fairies and the divas, the ETs, the elders of the planet, the angels, etc., we can communicate with the inner consciousness of the creatures on the planet. This includes the birds and the bees, the butterflies, and the insects, the creatures of our waters and air. There is an innate consciousness embedded in the Earth motor. I feel the elders of the planet have given the Sisterhood a sign by taking the ancient meteor crater at Glassford, showing us the symbol of the Sisterhood heart, which is a diamond over the crater and creating a vortex in the sky. We as dowsers need to incorporate this wisdom on our own property so that we can help the birds and the bees, the creatures of the water, set up a frequency so that they can again navigate from one point to another. Creating the Holy Grail Vortex every morning and activating it with the local birds will help them fly the navigational fields of the Earth. The same is true if you live by the water, to work with the water creatures. I used to go down to the gazebo in Allegan, and every time I did the Holy Grail Vortex under the gazebo, the ducks, the geese, the birds in the area would fly in a vortex, using that vortex to run the sonar along the grid so they again reestablished a nesting and feeding area. You can also do this in your own area.